Hey guys, Cal here today with the Jeep Wrangler 4xE Rubicon, and today we're going to be taking a look at this thing and seeing is the middle of the road Wrangler 4xE the one you should buy. Alright guys, so starting out on the driver's side of the Wrangler 4xE here, we'll start at the back of the vehicle, which you'll see you have your fuel door that says fuel on it, so Jeep lets you know where the fuel door is. Now, the one thing that's unfortunate is you cannot open it from the outside. You do have to go inside, hit the button on the dash that's just to the left of the steering wheel in order to unlock that fuel door. And then coming around to your door handles, you'll see for the passive entry, they don't have it on all four door handles. So sort of what Chevy did is they took it away from the back door handles, and your passive entry is now only on the front driver's side and passenger side door. And then in order to get to your charging port, you have that right there. This one you can open from the outside. That's going to be your charging port right there. And then all of your decals on the side here are blued out. You have the Wrangler emblem there with the American flag, the Jeep emblem, the trail rated emblem, all blued out, as well as the Rubicon emblem to let you know that this is a hybrid vehicle. And another nice part about stepping up to the Wrangler 4xE Rubicon trim model is that it does give you these really nice 33-inch all-terrain tires, which these are the BF Goodrich all-terrain TAs, the KO2s to be specific, and they're wrapped around your machined-faced wheels that have those black painted pockets in there. And then they have a nice little blued-out Jeep decal in the middle to, again, let you know that this is the hybrid Wrangler. All right, and then taking a look at the front end on this thing, you'll see those LED headlights with the projector bulb accented right in the middle there. You have your LED turn signals as well here. And then you have your blue tow hooks. Again, another quick look on this thing to let you know that it is the hybrid Wrangler. You do have the LED fog lights down below on the front bumper. License plate bracket right in the middle. You do have that front camera right here in the middle of the grille. And what looks to be a little washer fluid thing to wash your front camera off in case you get it muddy out on the trails. All right guys, so you're not necessarily buying a Wrangler for its performance, but I thought we'd take a quick look under the hood. So under the hood of the Wrangler 4xE, you will find the 2-liter 4-cylinder under here. Now on its own, in the normal Wrangler that has only the 4-cylinder, no hybrid system, that 4-cylinder puts out about 270 horsepower. This 2-liter 4-cylinder with the hybrid setup puts out 375 horsepower and 470 pound-foot of torque. So you're picking up a little over 100 horsepower just by adding the hybrid system. All right, now guys, we are to the back side of the Wrangler 4xE, taking a look at it here. So you'll see you do have the LED turn signals accented by your LED reverse lights there in the middle. And then we do have a full-size spare tire back here. That's your same 33-inch tire. You have your backup camera right in the middle of your spare, like every other Wrangler. And then you have your third brake light right above that spare tire. And now moving around to here, you do see you have that blued out 4xE badge, and then you do have your blue tow hook to let you know that it is the hybrid Wrangler. I'll go ahead and open the trunk up here. Opens just the bottom door first, and then you see on the back window here, you do have your windshield wiper as well as your back windshield washer up top. And we'll flip that up, and that reveals your trunk space. All right guys, so now that we have the trunk open, I've taken the liberty of sitting back here to give you guys a representation of just how much space the trunk has in the Wrangler 4xE here. So I'm about 6'2", mostly legs, so pretty tall, and it's a nice place to sit, maybe watch some fireworks back here in the summer. But with the seats folded up, it has about 27 cubic feet of space back here. And with the seats folded down, you can expect around 67 cubic feet of space. And then to my left, you'll see here there's an Alpine subwoofer, which is part of the, I think it's a $2,295 package. It's called like a technology package, I think. Comes with the Alpine Premium sound system and the subwoofer in the trunk here. And then that also does include the HD radio and the 12.3-inch touchscreen up front. And then to my right, you'll see we do have a 12-volt plug back here. So if you want to plug the vacuum in, clean up some of the sand from the beach or some of the mud from the trail riding that you were doing earlier, you got that little plug right there to plug the vacuum in. And then one more thing I did see that's nice back here is Jeep does give you these nice little tie downs to maybe tie something down that you have back here, maybe a generator or something that you're hauling around, whatever you got. And then this little flap here, when you open this up, of course there's not a spare tire under there because there's one on the trunk itself. you have this little storage area to toss some things in. Okay guys, so now that we're back here, one more thing I wanted to cover on the trunk is we all know that Jeep is famous for their Easter eggs. They have the little Willys Jeep that's on the shifter knob. They have the little Willys Jeep up front that's on the windshield itself. This is a really cool chart that Jeep gives you. It shows you what your overall wheelbase of your 2-door or 4-door Jeep is, as well as your overall length. And then it has your water fording depth of how deep you can go with your Jeep and at what speed. And then it shows you how wide your Jeep is, so in case you're out on the trail, you see a slim opening, you're like, I don't know if we're gonna make it, you'll know exactly how wide your Jeep is because of this little diagram they put back here to let you know what you can safely make it through out on the trail. All right guys, now here we are in the back seat of the Wrangler 4xe here, and I have the front seat set in the driving position that I would normally be in myself. And I'm sitting in the back seat, and as you can see from my knees here, I have maybe like an inch of clearance, so nothing really too spacious back here, but of course we all know that these Jeep interiors are a little bit smaller. And then just a couple of the features that you'll see in the back seat of the Wrangler here, you do have your air vents for your rear seat passengers. They actually do pump out a pretty good amount of air for being rear vents, so that's nice. You do have your window switches for the rear passengers down there. You do have a household power outlet down on the bottom there. And then there is also a couple USB Type A's and USB Type C's above that. And then you will see we have some little baskets on the back of each one of the front chairs to kind of toss a few of your things. Little hooks to hang bags and things like that. Okay guys, so now we've made it to the front seat of the Wrangler 4xe. Steering wheel here, it is a nice smooth leather around the entire outside because this is the Rubicon, so we do at least get some nice leather on the steering wheel. On the left side of the wheel, you have your controls for the driver information center ahead of you. You also have your buttons to pick up and hang up phone calls, as well as your Siri voice button right in the middle there. On your right side of the steering wheel, you'll see your cruise control buttons all the way to the right. And then you do also have the adaptive cruise control button right in the center of that. And then to the bottom left side of your steering wheel, you will see 3 different buttons you can press. They're right next to the fuel door button down here. You have the hybrid button, which is going to use your gas and electric power at the same time. You have your electric button, which is going to use electric power only, but you do have to have the battery charged up enough to use the full electric mode. And then e-save mode is going to run you in hybrid mode most of the time, and it saves some of that full electric power for later on. All right guys, so now that we're done with the driver's side of the front seat here, we'll go ahead and move over to our center tunnel. So you see for our audio, we do have the physical volume button right there, and then the physical seek button all the way to the right there. And then what I really like that Stellantis is still doing with a lot of their vehicles is giving them the physical climate control buttons. So you do have the dual zone climate up here. You have the heated seats for both driver and passenger, the heated steering wheel over here, and then you do have your little swath of buttons right under those climate controls. You have your select speed mode for your off-roading. If you want to set cruise control on the trail when you're off-roading, that's what that button is going to be for there. You have to be in 4-wheel drive to activate it. And then this is your max regen button over here that's lit up in blue. That button is going to recharge your battery as you're slowing down to some of the stoplights. You'll feel it sort of do some of the braking for you. And then if you don't like the feeling of it, you just want your vehicle to coast towards the stoplight, you can turn that off and it won't be as aggressive as you're slowing down. And then right below all those climate controls and audio controls up top, you do have down below your 12-volt charger here. You do have your USB Type A and C, and it's sort of an old school option at this point, but it's nice to see manufacturers still putting the aux port in there as well. And then you do have your front and rear differential locker switch down here, or you can lock out the rear diff only. And then your off-road plus button, you do have to have 4-wheel drive activated to use that. And then you do have your sway bar button down below. And then all 4 of your aux switches are off to the right side here. And then in the center, guys, we do have your 2 high and 4 high and 4 low selector right here. And then you do have your gear selector in general right here, and you can put it into manual mode if you switch it over to the left after putting it in drive. You do have your manual parking brake. It's nice to see a manual parking brake still being put in a vehicle these days. Your 2 cup holders, which aren't the biggest cup holders I've ever seen, but they are a fair size. And then moving into your center console, you do have a good amount of space here to store your things. And okay guys, one last quick look at the dash here. I did want to take a quick look at the radio before we take this thing for a ride. Looking at your home screen, you will see you have a quick look at your built-in navigation, so that you can use even if you're out of cell service, because that is built-in nav. And then off to the right, your home screen will show you what you're listening to on the radio. Quick glance at that. Switch over to media. That's going to be all your FM and your Sirius, as well as your Bluetooth music, all in this section here. You can quick seek to certain radio stations just by typing them in, just like that. Hit go, and it takes you right to that radio station. And I really like this radio setup because they do give you a quick look at some of the album art on these radio stations. If it does have that info available, it will display it there. And then onto your comfort, it gives you a quick look at your climate control overall, but really, to be quite honest, I think this screen is really confusing. So I just use this little swath of the physical climate control buttons down below. I think it's much simpler than that. Your built-in navigation, if you want the whole screen to be covered with it, will be right there. Your phone, that's going to cover your contacts, your recent calls, your keypad if you want to dial someone's number in, as well as your messages off to the right side you can see there, and your favorite contacts right in the middle. And then your vehicle is going to give you all of your sort of vehicle settings overall, especially if you go over to that section there. And then for your controls, you can check out a couple things here. It gives you a quick little shortcut to your rear or forward facing camera. And then your apps is just going to be for your Alexa, your hybrid app to see really how much power you're going through, as well as your device manager for things like your cell phone. So here we are behind the wheel of the Jeep Wrangler 4xE here. Now, I'll do a quick acceleration run for you guys in a minute here. So referring to the steering on the car, I mean, I know it doesn't, it has 33-inch off-road tires, so I can only expect so much communication coming through the steering wheel, but just when you're driving this thing on the road, I really wish there was a little bit more steering feel in the steering wheel. It's pretty numb. When you steer it, you're going to go in that direction. You just can't really feel what you're doing when you're steering it. I just wish it had a little bit more feel coming through the steering wheel. All right, guys, so we're just turning on to our road here. We're just going to do a little acceleration run. We're going to try to see what that 375 horsepower feels like. So we're at a roll right now. We're doing about 25 miles an hour, and we'll see how she takes off. Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. She gets up and goes. The thing is very zippy. Wow. Okay. So power's good. Any real kind of gap in power that you would have from the turbo 2-liter 4-cylinder there, you're really not going to feel, because you got that electric, that hybrid that just kind of fills in the power gap. So she takes off and goes. It's smooth. Honestly, it wasn't that exciting because it was so smooth. Like I expected a little more drama, especially out of something that's so utilitarian as like a Jeep. But there's really no drama. It just gets up and goes. It does exactly what you want it to. And now one other thing I wanted to mention to you guys too is I think it's called Max Regen. This button down here that lights up blue, you can turn it on and off. When you hit that and you let your foot off the gas, it's gonna start coasting down really hard for you. Like you almost barely have to use the brakes coming up to a stoplight. It's crazy how aggressive the Max Regen button is. So personally, if I were buying this thing, I would not use the Max Regen. I think it responds way too strongly. I mean, unless you do a lot of city driving and it's nice for like the stop and go maybe, because like you barely have to hit the brakes when you're using it, but I just think it responds way too strong, like to the point where it almost wants to like pull you into the shoulder. Like if you're kind of going around a curve and you let your foot off the gas, it's like the Max Regen system, it just responds so strong. It wants to slow you down so much that it's like pulling you into the shoulder. It's just crazy. It's way, way, way too aggressive. Okay guys, that concludes our review of the 2024 Wrangler 4xE Rubicon. Before we end today's video, I wanted to give a quick shout out to Bob Johnson Jeep in Avon, New York for letting me use this car to review for you guys. If you're interested in checking out their inventory, I have everything linked down below in the description. And if you guys enjoyed today's video, if you haven't already, subscribe now, leave a like on today's video, and leave any comments on the Wrangler 4xE you have in the comments below, and comment any future vehicles you want to see me review, because I just might be able to get my hands on them. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.